Spence.
Yeah, we're recording, boys. So anything you say is now documented on YouTube forever.
Yeah, you got to read my Miranda rights.
You have the right to log off this podcast, and this doesn't work for you. But
what a first show!
Oh, this is recorded. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it.
I'm ready to podcast, motherfucker. Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
So 500 hours of YouTube content is uploaded every minute. That's wild.
That's a dandy fact.
That is a dandy fact. Only YouTubers will know.
Damn.
I guess the wind blowing the Spence fan again.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Spencer
Yeah,
Timothy.
sure is.
Or mute yourself. Just mute yourself. Yeah. All right. Very good. All right. So whenever you're ready, bro.
I'm taking a swig of this lemonade real quick. A little parched. I have no water in my house right now.
Is that blackberry lemonade or whatever it is from Publix?
It's a raspberry.
Yeah.
It's more of a raspberry house.
Woo.
3, 2, 1. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's Uncle Silk.
And Dan.
And Nick, we're not all-American. I think we might have been second team high school all-county. Shout out to 954 Dan, Broward County.
Already.
I'm already lying on your resume, man. It's your first show. You're already lying about being all county and shit.
Listen, when you go back and check it, I'll correct it. But until then, it was at least second team all-county.
There's
Was it
definitely
hockey?
a brick.
Hockey? No.
No, I'm the hockey guy.
There's like brick pavers at my parents' house. I can write my name.
I heard
One of
Broward
those?
County
Does
is a
that
big
count?
hockey county.
No.
That's what Dan said.
That Dan's lying. Dan's lying.
No, incredible ice is there. There's a bunch of stuff there. The Panthers were there. They did a huge outreach. So Broward County is a big hockey town.
It's not a big hockey town.
Not only are we the best at putting NFL players into the league, we're also probably the best hockey county in the state of Florida as well. It's not a bad thing to hang your hat on.
That's a great dandy fact. Welcome to the show, Nick.
What a terrible intro. We're talking hockey.
Whenever you can sneak hockey in there, it's going to be a good show.
Yeah. Happy to be here, man. It's been I got to dust off my podcasting chops here. It's been a while. I can't even
chops.
I don't know what that was. Can't even remember how long ago we started the podcast over at Gator Country. And then since I moved, just been podcast homeless. So happy to be here with Dandy, Corey, Spence, and Cam. And you know what was going to have to happen for my first show. Hundreds of people too.
You got to kick it off.
There could be no other guests. We'll have the Townsend brothers on in a minute, and that's the only way it could have happened.
Right. It's for the brand, Nick. Nick, for everybody that doesn't know you, I mean, I'm sure everybody does, but do a quick intro. Tell us a little bit about your backstory and then where you're writing now and do all that stuff.
Yeah, I was interning at Bleacher Report, and somehow when I was at UCF, and somehow Dan found my stuff or knew who I was, and he invited me to go to a signing day party in Orlando with the great Bob Redman guest speaking. So I met Dan, had never met him before. Met him in Orlando, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm probably moving back in with my parents because I'm getting ready to graduate and don't have a job lined up."
Yeah, no, it's wild. Before you even said that, Nick, we met. I had just moved to Orlando maybe a month or two earlier for work, and Nick and I had followed each other on Twitter for a while. He was a guy that Twitter was a very different place than it is now. So I knew Nick was about to graduate from UCF, but he was still there. We went out to lunch at that burger place that's like relatively close to UCF. And I was like, dude, are you going to the Gator alumni thing tonight? He's like, what Gator alumni thing? I'm like, well, let me tell you, this guy Hollywood Bob is speaking, and I had only known him from
Bob.
from just like Twitter and just being around for a while. And Nick's like, he's like, yeah, I got nothing going on tonight. And here I was, I didn't text Nick before we got there or anything else. I was like, man, I'm just going to get stood up by some random guy. And there he was. And we had a great time.
That's where we met Johnny, because I think it was he was like an Ohio State commit or something. We'll have to ask him, but they were showing him off as the punter signee on National Signing Day, and then Dan got me an internship with Gator Country, and that was supposed to be like a 6-month trial period. I went up and covered 2 or 3 spring practices and got offered a full-time job and spent 8 years there. So just made the switch over to Gators territory and Rivals right before the LSU game. So I'm 0-3 at Rivals, or Florida's 0-3 at Rivals since I've been there. And just getting paid to watch sports, bro. It's not a bad gig if you can get it.
Dan's a dot connector. That's what I get out of like most things in life. Being around Dan, he's a dot connector.
I mean, that's his like profession, and then he did it for me on the side. He's doing side gigs. There was no commission cut for Dan there.
No, there was no money made.
No money made.
How does it end up? I end up getting banned on the website. You know what I mean? Like
that was after my time was gone. After my time there, you weren't getting banned while I was there.
That's true. Well, Nick, we're excited to have you on, my friend. I know when Ahmad made the announcement, you were the first person we thought of, the internet thought of, and we're super excited to bring you on board.
He was fresh off of winning the Twitter brackets, man. It was like perfect timing, right? Like, when you work with skills, sometimes good luck will happen.
That's what Silk and I said. Whoever wins this Twitter bracket is who gets to be on our show. So
it was either me or Snell, then?
Yeah.
You were who?
I think it was Snell.
It was him or Shannon Snell.
Oh, okay.
I don't got ribs for you.
For sure.
Well, perfect. Well, let's get the show started, boys. As always, let's give a shout out to our friends over at Roof Soldier, which is a veteran-owned business that's going to help you in all aspects of residential and commercial roof replacement. Give them a call, 1-877-ROOFS-FL or roofsoldier.com. Again, 1-877-ROOFS-FL. Let them know Stadium and Gale sent you. You get $1,000 off your roof replacement. So again, need a new roof. Your roof Lincoln insurance company needs you to replace a roof. You just buy a new house and you need a new roof. Give them a call, 1-877-ROOFS-FL. Mention Stadium and Gale, get $1,000 off any roof replacement. So boys, it's that time to announce Silk's cousin. Right now, he's claiming him as his play cousin until he comes on the show. Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor was inducted into the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame today, along with Reggie Wayne, Ken Jordan, Patrick Surtain, and Joe Staley. So a hell of a group to be inducted in with.
Is that the Hall of Fame that you were waiting on there for your cousin?
I'm not waiting on any Hall of Fame, but I don't even think he's celebrating this one. But that's very good. Like we got to talk about something. So. That's interesting because it's like to get into that game, you have to be a senior, and so many guys are leaving now, and then you really have that week is I've been out there so many times. That week's more important about meeting with teams and what you do in workouts and meetings that you really don't even. By the time the game comes that Saturday, like I'm already out of town. Did he have a good senior bowl? I can't remember.
Apparently.
I don't know if it's based on your performance at the Senior Bowl.
That's what I was about to ask the criteria.
Maybe it's based on what you do after.
I would imagine it's just one of those things that if you played in it and we can get your name out there, then
bring some recognition to the bowl real quick.
I learned there was a Senior Bowl Hall of Fame when that press release came out about Fred. So
likewise,
that's like you said. I don't know if Fred's
what color you think the jackets are?
Orange for Reese's. It's got to be.
That's
got to be the orange jacket, right?
Makes sense.
Listen, Reese's sponsors the podcast, and I'll paint the room orange.
Yeah, Fred Taylor even issued.
I'll do it for Reese's.
Don't even need money, just send the products. Just send some bags.
Boxes. Yeah.
Speaking of which, you guys should be getting a box from Manscaped any day now. Anyway, Fred Taylor had this to say. Or somebody had this to say from Fred Taylor. My experience at the Senior Bowl was a great end to my college experience and also my first glimpse into the NFL. It was awesome being coached by NFL staffs and was honored to compete with top seniors in college football. I had many lasting friendships that were made over the course of the week. The experience was priceless. I am forever grateful for the opportunity to play in the Senior Bowl and honored to be selected to the game's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he probably ain't write that.
I don't.
Was Dan bouncing out?
I don't think that he. They don't mention it.
You lagged a little bit there, Dan.
Sorry about that.
It's a dandy internet over there.
That's what. That was good, Nick. I'm not sure where I started lagging. It doesn't really matter. The quote doesn't really mean much. He didn't do much in the Senior Bowl, from what I can tell, either. So, but that's a good group.
Just, the Senior Bowl is what the kids would say, clout chasing. That's what the Senior Bowl is.
All right, let's see what else happened before we get the Townsend brothers on. In soccer over in Europe, I don't know if you guys saw this, Soak. I know you're a big soccer fan. They announced that they're going to be potentially creating a European Super League, trying to go around some of the constrictions that are there for geography and some of the other leagues that are there. Some of the other beat writers and Andy Staples, I know, put one out from the.
I would actually just speak on that. If soccer consolidated and not have seasons year round, I might be interested in watching. Because the games I do tune in are exciting, but it's just nonstop. So I don't know where to get in, where I fit in.
Well, it's interesting. I thought about this. So you see so many sports writers that get into it. Because when you're working, when I cover Florida, you're not supposed to be cheering for your team. And then you're thinking about all right, well, if my Twitter timeline's me cheering for the Heat, if I ever want to move back down south and cover the Heat, can I get a job? So all these sports writers that get into European soccer, because it's listen, I'm never moving to Scotland to cover this team. So if I
want to go global, I gotta start liking soccer. Is what you're saying?
There you go.
Being a fanboy, I like it.
Yeah, there you go. So I think that's where
I did hear today that
I think that's where it got into the sports writers things with following teams, but I still haven't gotten into it. That's a early Saturday morning. I'm doing other stuff rather than watching NBC.
That's a tough part. You have games at 7 in the morning. I'm not sure what league it is. I'm not sure if this game matters, because they do these things sometimes where it's a home and home, and they do these their legs, and goals count for more if they're scored at home or scored away, whatever it is. It's just a lot. And then they're also playing simultaneous tournaments at the same time.
They do what? They do what again?
Yeah, they do these things where they have 2 legs, and they'll do one game at one team's home and one at the other. And if it's tied, away goals, aggregate goals count more, I believe.
Yeah, 2.
That's the first qualifier. Yeah, they count for 2 points instead of 1 on the aggregate, not as a tiebreaker. So I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
They got to do some more than some consolidating. They got to do some rule changing. All that sounds crazy to me. What we got? What are we talking about?
Yeah. So no, that's fine. So if you were to create a super conference of college football, what are some teams that you think have to be in it?
Let's break down Andy's list. Shout out to Andy Staples. Do you want to talk about Andy's list?
I got his list pulled up right now.
Okay, perfect. Nick, read it all for us.
So he's got, what is this, 15? Yeah, 15. Alabama, Auburn, Clemson, Florida, Georgia, LSU, Michigan, Nebraska, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Oregon, USC, Texas, Penn State. And right off the rip, I'm looking at Nebraska as
Oregon.
the how'd you get in here. Oregon makes sense because you need some teams out on the West Coast.
Considering some of the schools they left off, I don't know how Oregon makes it. It's some blue bloods that didn't make this, right?
Yeah. The only team in the state of Florida that made it was the University of Florida.
Oh, of course. You got to put the flagship in there.
Come on.
What are you doing?
To me, there's, obviously, a school like Nebraska, you've got the history, but Michigan's also history, but that makes more sense to me. I don't get Nebraska, Notre Dame.
Andy mentioned Nebraska because of geographic reasons. Mm-hmm. I think Iowa would be a better pick than Nebraska.
What?
I said I think Iowa would be a better pick than Nebraska.
No,
Not that I would put them in my list, but
yeah, I think
throwing Iowa into your super group.
No, a better pick than Nebraska is not hard to do. So I agree with you on that, but I don't want to see Iowa in it either.
No.
Or Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm good on all that.
All right, so who would you take off?
Who's in there? That's missing, in my opinion.
Well, it's tough because you've got, like you said, there's some blue bloods that you think you need to have in there, but obviously there's teams like Clemson, not a blue blood, but it's really right now it's Clemson and Alabama's world, and everyone else is kind of just living in it and surviving.
I would say that Texas A&M is.
I was about to say A&M. Yeah. I like A&M in that mix. You almost got to leave Oregon. You just think about who else deserves to be in there?
Because you got to have teams on the West Coast,
right
in there.
I'm not gonna watch it because it comes on at 2 a.m. or something crazy like the soccer games. So
you can watch Oregon versus Hawaii, and then right into Everton versus Man U. That's you stay up, grab some coffee.
What do y'all think about Florida State and Miami not being on it?
I think what Andy was going for was some geographic things. I think him being a Florida grad may have also swayed that a little bit. I think when you're talking about national recognition, I think the University of Florida has the most national brand recognition of any school in Florida. And I would actually say that I think the University of Miami is number 2, and then Florida State's number 3. I think just Miami is known for more.
Yeah, I like that take.
So you put Florida, Miami, Florida State in terms of getting in.
Yes, I think if there was an opening once Nebraska gets relegated down to the non-super conference.
So if we're still talking soccer, I like how the soccer has it where you've got Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and if you're the last 2 teams in Group 1, you're relegated down to Group 2. The best 2 teams in Group 2 get to move up.
Here's my thing. Here's my question. What if this is a super league, super conference, if this is a true thing that's happening, what are the other JV programs like Florida State, Miami, and Tennessee that didn't make it? What are they considered? Not super?
Yeah.
They're the okay conference.
They're like the Ant-Man conference. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I mean, you have to wonder if and a lot of these sports writers are talking about it, like that they're not surprised that there may be one day a super conference of college football. But Silk, you make a great point. Like, what do? You can't. I mean, are you going to have 4 different leagues that go down? And could Hawaii go on a run and all of a sudden make it out to that super conference? Wouldn't that be wild? You have a couple down years. I mean, FSU right now. I mean,
one of those little programs like FSU or Hawaii make a little run, little Cinderella programs.
Yeah, FSU is one losing season away from probably dropping down to that Tier 3 league.
Right.
It's crazy though because I'm not a big fan of the NCAA in general, but once you went to the Power 5, the teams in the Power 5 hold all the chips. And if they wanted to just break off and say, listen, we don't need your NCAA sanctioned tournament. We'll just run our own thing and we'll do our own thing. And if those Power 5 conferences left, who's watching any NCAA, equestrian, sorry, ladies or guys who are riding the horses, but I'm not watching the NCAA equestrian tournament. So the Power 5 hold all the chips and can kind of make the NCAA do and bend the way they want them to. So it'd be interesting to see something like this because then you're talking to, Georgia Tech and be like, hey, sorry. Yeah, we're going to go off and do our own thing, but enjoy the ACC still.
Oh, we got some takes, man. We came to podcast today. This is what I'm talking about right here,
Yes, sir. Well, Nick, I think it's about time for you to bring on your brand member. So let's give a shout out to our friend Carlton Black. Pardon me. Carlton Black with Cardinal Financial. It's Black, not. He's licensed in Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and Virginia. He's going to help you with home loans, conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans, fixed rate loans, adjustable rate mortgages, jumbo loans, and the rest. Construction loans, one-time close, all of the down payment assistance loans, anything that you could ever think of with the word loan in front or behind it. Give him a call, 404-769-5501, carlton.black@cardinalfinancial.com. 404-769-5501, carlton.black at cardinalfinancial.com. Let's bring on a Townsend.
I'm not muted. I just sent the link. Well, it's interesting. So Tommy's he's got his whole foundation. We'll ask him about that. But I'm looking.
You're both coming on at the same time, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That's the plan. That's a
pause.
Y'all are asking Tommy why he went to Tennessee, right?
Yeah, got to ask him about his decision to go to Rocky Top out of high school. But they're doing that whole Top Golf series.
So he's doing something for his foundation there, but I think I'm gonna have to slide to that. Top Golf at the Swamp.
If I could have got off, I was going to buy tickets, but not happening.
They're not sold out, are they?
I'm pretty sure they're sold out.
Okay, maybe I'm not sliding
Okay,
to
I was
it.
about to say, if it's not sold out, I'll go. I didn't hear about that shit. I'll slide to that
I
shit.
think Annie got a box. I don't know.
That makes
exactly
sense.
yet, but
Is it full?
I don't know. I'm not going, but
No, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm gonna skip that one. I got too much shit going on to be doing Top Golf at the Swamp right
I'm
now.
sure it's gonna be epic, though, dude. It's like the Garth concert. Like I should have gone.
The which concert? The Garth?
Yeah.
Dude, that concert was fantastic. I hung out with Take Casey for a while. We got drunk. That place was a madhouse, man. That was fun.
Yeah, are you going to the Top Golf shit, Dan?
No. When is it? It's a couple weeks, right?
That shit looks awesome.
What weekend is that? I don't even know if I'm gonna be here.
It's like a 4 or 5 day thing. I got it pulled up.
No, it's this weekend.
Is it this weekend? It might
Yeah,
be.
definitely not.
It's a perfect time to have Johnny on because we can pump the foundation because he's giving away a ticket for like a charity thing. Whoever donates to the thing
Yeah, I think it's
he
to
wanted me
golf. I think
retweet
it's to
it.
golf with him.
in the Top Golf thing.
Yeah.
It's John Townsend joining us right now, actually. He graduated and he just changed to John.
It's professional.
Yeah, it's professional. I'll never forget my first job out of college. I hired a kid, and his name was Billy. And my boss was like, does he want to go by William or Bill? He's like, he's a grown man and graduated from college. We won't call him Billy. Like, all right.
What's up, Johnny?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, cool.
We were just talking about. We can wait for Tommy to get in here. But we were just talking about the foundation and the Top Golf stuff that you were doing.
Oh yeah.
What is that this weekend?
All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna connect this Wi-Fi. It's a little spotty right now.
Yeah. Ooh, dropping stuff. I gotta send you that link. Did I send the song to Cam or Spence?
Cam.
Are you up in Baltimore? Where are you at? Where are you at now?
Yeah, I'm in Baltimore. I just got up here yesterday, actually.
Let me see.
Yep. Yeah, we just started all the OTA workouts.
Oh, okay. I was like following it tweet by tweet as every team was coming out and being like, we're not participating in OTAs, and you're kind of just like having to go through like checklists and stuff to see who was, who wasn't.
Yeah, it's a mess right now. It's like all the players don't want to show up. The coaches want us there, and it's just kind of a tough situation for everybody.
That's rough because you're dealing with a union, and also like, hey, I also would like to keep my job and be in the NFL this coming season. So what do I do?
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's in different situations too. Like there's veterans that got a ton of money and guys that have secure jobs. There's rookies that don't, that are bubble guys, and everybody has a different motive. So
look at that hair.
You're on mute, bro.
You're on mute time.
Oh, shoot, my bad. What's going on?
Look at this.
Slicked back.
Yeah, I actually just got out of the shower. I finished working out and then I kicked and worked out and then rushed on here. So sorry I'm late.
All right. Well, we've got 2/3 of the Townsend brothers on the show. We should have had Clay come on too. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming on. Of course, there was no other way for me to start my first podcast without bringing on a couple punters and a couple guys. We were just telling the story, Johnny, about the signing day, your senior year. What was that place, Dan? It was like that.
I don't
saloon?
remember.
Cowboys,
something like that.
Something like that. And you had just signed with Florida that day, and like we ran into you there. It was like on signing day. It must have been 2012.
That was 13. Yeah,
13.
13. Yeah.
That's where the bromance started.
Who would have known?
And then you, I think you probably kicked more in your life ever in 2013 during that year, a record-setting year, which is where my Here's Johnny and my Punters Are People Too persona started that year.
Yeah. That's funny.
So, Nick, do you want to do an intro for both of them when we get back live here?
Yeah.
All right. So just do a countdown, do a brief intro, and then you'll run with the first question.
Cool. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. And we're back. Whole new vibe on the podcast with me. You knew it. First episode had to bring on some punters to support the movement. Punters are people too. Johnny Townsend, Tommy Townsend. Thank you guys for joining us. A couple of former Gators and some NFL stars, because punters are stars. So I want to thank you guys for joining us and kicking off my first episode.
Yeah, appreciate you having
thanks
us.
for having us on.
We'll start with Tommy, because Tommy was just rookie year. A lot of guys go an entire career without getting to a Super Bowl, and you're 20 games into your NFL career, and you're at the Super Bowl. What kind of experience did you have just getting used to the NFL, and all of a sudden you're in the biggest game in the world?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, obviously, yeah, first year, going to the Super Bowl, that's something special. That's not something that a lot of guys get to do. I mean, guys go their whole career without doing it. And, I was very fortunate to go to a team that's, very good and, previous Super Bowl champions. And then we came back and, tried to run it back and get another ring and make another Super Bowl appearance. And we got halfway there. But, yeah, hopefully this year we're going to, come back again, come back stronger and get back to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, it was an awesome experience. It was really cool. It's nothing that I've ever, been a part of, obviously, but, a championship game, that's something that I've never really, gotten to experience. I mean, Johnny's played in some SEC championships. I've played in a few bowl games, but, it's just a whole different atmosphere, especially, the Super Bowl. I mean, that's the top of the mountain right there.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was such a cool experience.
What's it like? I was just watching the Dodgers get their rings, and it was Trevor Bauer's vlog, and obviously he wasn't on the team last year, and he's kind of just like sitting there watching this huge celebration. What's it like being one of the guys on the 53 that's not getting a ring, and you're just kind of like watching your teammates celebrate something, and you're just like hoping, like, hey, I'd like some jewelry too.
Right. Yeah. So they actually had the ring ceremony for us. It was right before the season. I mean, with COVID and everything, I mean, all the orders and stuff got delayed. But that was actually something that was really cool. I was able to, sit up in the boxes and, sit there and watch the ring ceremony. And, of course, it made me a bit envious. Obviously, I want to be there. I want to be down there, being part of the ring ceremony, opening up my Super Bowl ring. But yeah. Yeah, it was really cool, and hopefully we can get back there this year.
And then Johnny, you had your kicking, and then I think there was an injury, or you were out of the league for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you get picked up by Kansas City, and you're on the practice squad behind little brother. What was just the process for you last year? Not being signed and then signing and then, eventually ending up in Baltimore. Oh, I think we lost Johnny on his.
I think we lost him. All Tommy, right, let's get back to you, but let's get back to you, Tommy. Your brother Johnny is, he's a kicker at punter at the University of Florida. He's doing really well. The fans love him. You're a high school senior, and you decide to commit to Tennessee and then enroll at the University of Tennessee. Talk to us a little bit about how you ended up making such a poor decision, and then what brought you around to making a right decision.
All right.
Yeah. So obviously, Florida, I was hoping to go to Florida out the gate. And I'm sure, as y'all know, how it works is they scholarship kickers, punters once every 4 years. And I was actually on cycle to hit the 4 years at Florida. But Coach Muschamp ended up offering Johnny at a high school, and Johnny decommitted from Ohio State, and he ended up going to Florida, so that kind of spoiled it for me. And so the next thing for me was, okay, I want to stay in the SEC. I got to find a school in the SEC. So where's the next best place for me? And luckily, like going through the camp circuit and all that stuff, I was fortunate enough to pick up an offer from an SEC school, which was Tennessee, and was there for a year and realized that wasn't the spot, and I had to come back home. And I think that ended up being the best decision I possibly could have made. So I got to come back and sit behind Johnny, who was a 2-time All-American, and learn from him and pick up some things. And I was lucky enough to fill his shoes, and here we are.
And Johnny, just how disappointing was it to have a younger brother commit and enroll to Tennessee? I mean, I'm sure that was just a gut-wrenching feeling to have to watch your little brother in that creamsicle orange. We're losing him. Baltimore, we need better Wi-Fi in Baltimore.
We need to get Wi-Fi.
We need to get on.
See, I'm on that Gainesville Wi-Fi right now, and
I was gonna say you look like you're at the IPF or something.
Yeah,
sure do.
I had to come here for the background,
Hey, Tommy, real quick. We was talking about the Super Bowl a little earlier. What goes through your mind after you shank the punt in the Super Bowl?
Honestly, it all just kind of happened at once. All kind of came crashing down at once. So usually at the Super Bowl, you show up a week ahead of time. You have the opening ceremonies, the dinner, and you have a bunch of stuff throughout the week to kind of warm you up to it, and just kind of get you a little bit comfortable with it. And we flew in Saturday before the game, as if it was just a regular away game, and woke up Sunday and it was all Super Bowl all at once. So it was very cool, and it was a crazy experience. The game was like nothing I've ever experienced. It was a completely different atmosphere. You could just tell with mindset, preparation of guys, and the vibe that they're giving off in the locker room, and the weeks leading up to that, and the game itself, it was so different because it was almost like, to me, it was almost like a party going on around us,
Right.
And I've never been in an atmosphere like that before. With the halftime show, it's basically like a big concert, and there's so much hype around the game and excitement. It's just a different vibe than just any other game, and even the playoff games, it was quite different from the playoff games.
Do punters? Do you get, like most football players? All football players are different, or even positional players. Every positional player is different. But do you find yourself wanting to be calm, or do you get hyped up like before you about to make a play or kick? Like, what's your demeanor like?
Yeah, so typical games for me. I like to be very high energy and have kind of a mindset going into punting. But especially during the Super Bowl, and since it was so much all at once, I was just trying to just calm myself down and just kind of like take in the moment, just go kick by kick, and just try not to psych myself too much out, because I'm a rookie in the Super Bowl. It's the first time I've been in an environment like that. It's a tough place to play. So I was definitely trying to go for a calmer mindset going into that game.
Oh, okay. No, I was curious, man. I appreciate y'all boys coming on and hang out with us, man. One of y'all had me blocked. I can't remember who it was, man. I may have said some kicker slander on accident one day or something, but one of y'all had me blocked, man. Nick can bring those mend those type of fences, so we appreciate having Nick on the podcast now.
I think that sounds like a Johnny move.
Listen, if you were blocked, you probably earned it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Tommy had to put some conditioner in his hair. He's focused on that more so than Tommy, I want to ask you guys. So, like, you guys seem like very, very different. Obviously, you look different. It seems like you guys are just like different brothers. Talk to us a little bit about it, like what it was growing up like. I know your dad, was a University of Florida graduate, very involved with the University of Florida. Did you guys grow up Gator fans? Did you always want to be a Gator fan? Tommy, I know you had committed to Johnny had committed to Ohio State at college, or at a high school, pardon me. But talk to us a little bit about your growing up together.
Yeah, so growing up, well, first off, I'll do this since I'm already getting crap for the hair being up. I might as well just put it down for y'all, right?
There it is. We appreciate that.
Listen, enjoy it while you have it. Not all of us have long hair like that, and the hairline doesn't stay there forever.
The hairline falls back real quick.
Easy there. But yeah, growing up, I mean, it was always super competitive throughout our household. And I mean, I can remember time after time I'm sitting there chasing around Johnny and Clay around the yard because we're playing a game, and of course they do something to piss me off, and like, just cheat and beat up on the little brother, and I get frustrated chasing him around, and I definitely think that's where our competitiveness came from is just always being like super interactive growing up, and that's something that got to take our hats off to the parents, sitting there forcing us to get dressed in the car, like going out to baseball practice. When we're sitting there screaming and crying at like 5-6 years old, saying, no, I don't want to go. No, I don't want to go. But so hats off to them for that. But it's just, it's been awesome having, an older brother like Johnny and an older brother like Clay, just constantly pushing us to get better and better. So, it's something that we don't really take for granted.
How did you guys end up as a punting family?
So that's I guess that's a story for Johnny, but unfortunately he's having some technical difficulties, but I'll try and explain it the best I can. So I think it was his freshman or sophomore year of high school, and their team needed a punter, and they had some tryouts, and they just kind of tossed the ball to the guys, and they were just like, you know what, just kick it and we'll decide see who kicks it the furthest, and whoever kicks it the furthest gets the job, and that ended up being Johnny. And so one of our dad's friends, he actually punted and kicked at FSU back in the day. And so there were a couple times where, he would go to the field and get some lessons from him. And yeah, I started joining in as Johnny started going through the camps and started getting ranked. I was like, you know what, I can do this too. And Johnny ended up getting some offers, and then I was like, you know what, I can really do this too. If he can do it, I can do it. That's just the
sounds like something you'll say when he's not on the show. I get it.
No, not like that. You know what I mean? It's just the brotherly competitiveness. Like, you know what, he's doing that. Like, I want to go do that too. So yeah, I mean, next thing we know, we're both in college playing. And he's at Florida. I'm at Tennessee. I end up making the move back home to Florida, and the rest is just kind of history.
So did you guys grow up playing soccer, or what's that? Or how'd you guys end up with booming legs?
To be honest, I think the last year I played soccer was maybe third grade.
So it just says you guys just a natural. I mean, talk to us. I mean, because punting isn't a very natural thing, right? I mean, most people don't have the dexterity, I guess, or the flexibility, I guess, in their legs. And we finally got Johnny back on. It looks like he got connected to the internet. Dude, welcome to the 21st century. It's good to have you back. It's so punting it's not a very normal, like, fluid motion that like most people have. How do you get to a position where you learn to do that, and kind of talk us into transitioning into being a punter?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the biggest thing, like getting into it, is like it's also very helpful when you have an athletic background and all that. So growing up in football, I was actually a running back up until about 7th, 8th grade. And I ended up playing quarterback 8th grade and then a little bit freshman year. But I actually got booted from the quarterback position because I'd drop back, I'd see my first read. If he wasn't there, I'd take off running. So
yeah, some of those guys made it to Florida, actually.
So yeah, they decided, I wasn't patient enough for quarterback. They moved me to corner and safety, played there throughout the rest of my high school career, and it was about the same for Johnny, except Johnny was a lot better quarterback than I was. He had an insane freshman year. I don't know his stats, but it seemed like, I'm pretty sure they went undefeated. We went undefeated. At Boone, we had a long history of like our freshman football team going undefeated. But yeah, Johnny was a nice quarterback in freshman year. I remember we'd go to the games and he's sitting there slinging the ball around, and yeah, they were running up the scores on teams. Johnny can speak on that a little bit more.
Yeah, I just logged back in, so I didn't hear the first part. But yeah, we had I played a lot of the positions too. I was a quarterback in high school, played some safety. Me and Tommy were both baseball players. I think he mentioned something about how easy it is to translate, into punting, being more of an athletic person. It definitely helps.
And I can tell you guys are always asking or reminding your head coach, like, hey, I used to freshman year used to throw a little bit. We got some plays where I can throw it back here, right? Some fake plays.
I wanted to ask Tommy about he talking about tucking in and running. Dan Mullen gave him the green light to tuck some punts. So I wanted to get his viewpoint of the Miami game and what was it like having that green light to just tuck it in and go when you wanted to.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I had one fake, the previous year against Vanderbilt, except we went straight up the middle.
You thought you were a fullback there at the end of that play. Just dropping the shoulder.
Hey, I mean, I'd rather hit than get hit. So, but yeah. So I mean, we had fakes called, a bunch of times throughout the year, but wouldn't have the look. And going into that game, it was kind of something similar. And we ended up calling it on the very first punt. And I was like, all right, like, let's go. Like, if we get the look, like I'm ready, let's do it. Like, I'm gonna run it. But if not, I was trying to get in the mindset to punt it away because a lot of the times it gets called off. And our PP, it was Tanner Rowell, and he gave us the call to just go ahead and run it. And ball snapped. Next thing I know, I was like, all right, like, it's go time. Like, I got to turn on the jets. And, I take a couple steps and there's already guys like breaking through the line. I was like, oh shit, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the
Yeah, you can say it. Go ahead.
Only for punters.
I was like, yeah, I really got to go. So yeah, I had to turn on the jets there, and we got the first down.
Because that was a spot. You guys were backed up inside, I think, your own 20, first drive of the game.
Yep.
Week 0. There was a whole big buildup, and all of a sudden, you're running. We're thinking, this is not. I don't know about this call. This is deep in their own zone.
I was like, man, we need to give him a jet sweep.
yeah, we were a little bit back there, but I mean, I had confidence in it. If Coach Mullen was going to call it and he was confident in it, then I'm confident in it too. So at the end of the day, I'm glad he called it and glad.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna let you jump in, Dan. I don't want to hog the mic. Johnny, do you think there's a difference, or what is the difference in kicking for a great offense and an offense like Muschamp's offense?
I think there's a couple different ways to look at it.
There's about 70 punts a year is the difference. That's
the workload.
But I think one of the differences is you can have a higher punt average. The majority of the time, or we'd be 3 and out, we'd stall out, and I'd be punting with a full field. So a lot of the time, it was just kind of swing away. So I think that's why a couple of those seasons I had the highest average in the NCAA 2 back-to-back years. We had a slower offense and more field to kick to, so it kind of almost played to my advantage to some sense.
Johnny, I want to ask you that was on the topic of Tommy being super athletic. You had a run your rookie year in the NFL where you ran about a 4.2 40. You were all over ESPN and everything else. What was that? He's smiling like he's like, I'm athletic too. What was that feeling like, man?
Oh, it was awesome. That was the first time I've ever got to break away on a fake. I felt like I was a little bit underutilized when I was at Florida. We just never took the risk. I never got to throw the ball, never got to run it. And I think at the time in the season, when the NFL posted that, it was like the top 3 breakaway plays, like speed-wise, like all season. I had to put on the Jets for that one, but it was fun just being able to run downfield like that and pretend to be an athlete again.
Just let Tyreek Hill know, like, hey, I don't know if you saw this, but they clocked me at near 20 miles an hour on this fake here.
Yeah, it was like 20.6 miles per hour. Or something.
He's like, it was approximately 20.61643 miles per hour. Hey, Johnny, you were having some technical difficulties before. We talked obviously we met you when you signed at the University of Florida, previously committed to Ohio State out of high school. What got you to change? And what was your first couple of years like in Gainesville?
Sure. Yeah, I was committed to Ohio State my entire senior season of high school. To Coach Meyer up there. He was a familiar face to me, just growing up a Gator fan, and I was really happy with the decision to commit to him, and knew he was going to win a bunch of championships. But Coach Muschamp came around, and he kind of just gave me a pretty good recruiting pitch. He kind of spoke on how, how I grew up a Gator. I was right down the street. It was easy for family to come to the games. Then he got a little deeper and started talking about how, where I wanted to retire and wanted to work. And I said Florida. And then from there, he kind of spoke to me about how, would I want to graduate and be in a place where all my connections were in the state that I lived in, all my friendships were in the state that I lived in, and also be in a state where people, still would know me, and where I could get up the road and see games. If I went to Ohio State, I don't know if I could make it up there and watch the Buckeyes, but being an in-state guy, I get to come around and do stuff with the university all the time, and now I got a foundation that's going and kind of running people too. So it's nice to play in a state with a team that I grew up watching.
So Johnny, I want to talk to you a little bit about your foundation. I know this interview is all over the place, but we got a lot to cover here. So talk to us a little bit about your foundation. You're doing something in the swamp this weekend with Top Golf, and there's a lot going on. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm fired up about it, to be honest. Top Golf's coming to the swamp, so I'm doing a little event in conjunction with that. I started the foundation when I left my senior year of college, when the NCAA would allow me to. And started doing some work with Shands. I developed some good relationships with them when I was in college through some community service programs and things like that. And I just wanted to find a way to give back. And my roots were tied to Gainesville and Shands. And, from there, I just started doing, a couple little fundraisers here and there. But this one coming up, I'm pretty excited about. Top Golf will be in the swamp. And I'm kind of doing like a, micro fundraiser throughout the course of 1 week. I just kind of opened up the website, and anybody that donated to my foundation within the week qualified for 2 tickets to join me and some current players, a couple former players, and one night stay just to hang out in Gainesville. So,
do they get the chance to hang out with you, or did I miss that?
What's up?
All right. Do they get the chance to hang out with you?
Yep. I'll be out there. I got a couple tickets and a little bay, they call it, and going to have a couple former players coming, and some current players are going to join us too as of today. So,
very good. Tommy, are you going to be there?
Tommy's already here.
Yeah, I'm already up here. But yeah, I'm gonna be attending the event. But I don't know if this is public or not, or I'm not sure if this has come out, but I heard there might be a Salty Dog tab there too. I don't know.
Oh, very good. Very good. Let me know when you guys make it over to Balls, and I might join you.
It's just a bad Gainesville bar take that you consistently put out there about Balls, Dan. That's just not a good take. You're dying on the hill alone.
That's fine. I will die on that hill alone. I know Johnny or Tommy got me that Balls is better than Salty Dog. They just don't want to admit it for fear of wrath. It's okay.
No,
I get it.
We'll be next.
I
door.
don't think I've been to Balls. I think I've only been to Salty Dog, right?
There's no reason to go to Balls.
I will say there's a horrid stench that comes out of
Salty Dog. I agree.
And I know that sounds wrong, but
that's Dan. That's Dan. That's Dan's spot.
That's just me and Squirrel hanging out. That's me and Squirrel hanging out.
Tommy or Johnny, you mentioned it as soon as the NCAA would allow you, because it seemed like you graduated and then immediately you had the foundation. So what was the genesis of the idea to start something to give back, and then how do you kind of get the plans in place when you're not eligible to do it because of NCAA rules, and then get it off the ground?
Yeah, so I kind of came up with the idea to start a foundation through some inspiration from relationships I developed with people at Shands, through doing community service there, and going into my senior season was when I wanted to initially start it, and my idea was to tie some stats to some sort of donations, maybe like the number of punts I put inside the 20, have people pledge to donate, things like that. But the NCAA caught wind of it and dealt with our clients a lot. And they said it was, use of my likeness to raise money. And that's one thing that the NCAA hadn't allowed. And so as soon as, I signed away my eligibility when I was, looking for, the NFL, I was, allowed to do all that stuff. So it kind of gave me a jump start, though, to be honest. I mean, I had everything in place, and it gave me a full season and kind of let things play out, and then really, plan better to kick things off.
And we'll give you a little plug here. It's the jttownsendfoundation.org. You got time to get in there. You're still taking donations to come and swing it with you this weekend.
Oh yeah. 2 days left, and I'm going to select one of the donors to, for those 2 tickets and a one-night stay. So yeah, you can also find the link to the giving page in my Instagram bio, my Twitter bio. All the proceeds benefit Chance Pediatric Hospital. So yeah, go check it out.
Johnny, I want to ask you a little bit. Tommy talked a little bit about it when you were dealing with some technical difficulties. How did you get into punting? I know he said that you just won a punting competition, just to get on the field. But was it something you always dreamed and aspired to be, or how did you end up deciding to stretch your leg that day?
Yeah, I don't think many people wake up and aspire to be punters and kickers. I think
please don't rain on Nick's parade. He's not old enough to give up on his dreams just yet.
Yeah, no, Nick, he's still got eligibility left, 4 years.
Yeah, I don't think I'm academically eligible.
But yeah, I kind of got into it, by chance. I was out there playing freshman football, and I know we touched on it. I was a quarterback, but our high school chemistry teacher was the head football coach, and he wasn't, the best at making decisions. Sorry, Coach Lestort, but he needed somebody to be a kicker. And he didn't know how to select a kicker, so he said, all right, whoever raises their hand, come over here and just kick the ball. And if it goes the furthest, you're our kicker. And we were on the baseball field, and I kicked one, and I kind of caught a little roll and went further than the other guys. And so I got to kick that year. And I had really no kicking background whatsoever or punting background. And I just kind of stuck with the guy from my high school from there and kind of, honed the skill and got better.
So how do you get better? Right. I mean, you're going up against, lifetime soccer players. You're going up against guys that have been punting longer than you. How did you know that this was something that was either a passion or something that you did well to turn it into something that could get you a scholarship to go to college and make it in the NFL?
Yeah, I think it was, a combination of those two things, of something that I knew I could kind of just do well off the bat. And it also took a lot of hard work too. I mean, it's a very technical position. Anytime you pick up a golf club for the first time or try to do something like that, it can be extremely frustrating. But I think the challenge of the nature of learning the position was something that, I kind of liked the competitive aspect, kind of going against myself and learning how to do it. And it became fun once you got better at it too. It's just kind of one of those things, but yeah.
And then when it comes to the NFL, with kickers and punters, there's 32 jobs and that's it. It's not like, you're not going to carry 7 punters like you would a wide receiver or lineman.
Nick would.
I would. I don't know how good my football team would be, but I got a spot for both of you on it. What is it like? Just, I guess, John, you can speak to this. Just learning, how cutthroat or how tough the business of the NFL can be. And got a lot of guys talk about it, but if you're a kicker or a punter, like I said, there's not as many jobs as there are for other positions.
Sure, yeah, I've experienced that firsthand. It's extremely cutthroat. Like you said, I mean, there's no backups. They carry one guy, and it's competitive. I mean, it's all a timing thing too. I mean, you got guys that'll be in the NFL for 10 years and that job won't open up, or so it's really tough to kind of get yourself in there. But once you do, you have the opportunity to stay for a long time. So.
And how excited are you to be back in the league in Baltimore, in that the purple and black?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love it here. I love Coach Harbaugh and the coaching staff, and I'm starting to get settled in. I haven't really seen much of Baltimore, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Our facility is about 30 minutes west out in Owings Mills. It's kind of out in the sticks. There's not much around here, so yeah, I'm excited to explore Baltimore a little bit this offseason, and but yeah, I'm happy to be part of this team.
Johnny, Tommy, I want to ask you guys. One of the responsibilities that I know that you both did at the University of Florida, besides punting, was being a holder on field goals and extra points. What's it like going through that moment? Everybody expects that you're going to just hold it well, and very occasionally there's a bad snap or a snap that goes a little bit awry. And what was it like to learn that position? And what's that? I guess those couple seconds like? I mean, is it heart-wrenching, or is it just so natural at that point?
Yeah, I mean, it happens so fast. I mean, with field goals, I mean, we try and get the operation off in under 1.25 seconds. Mm-hmm. So it's a super fast operation, especially it might not look as fast in person, but when you're down there, like in the holding position, and you give the set call and the ball comes to you, it's just like catch, put down. And we've done it so many times. It's such a repetitive motion. It's I don't know. I don't want to like say anything like jinx myself, but no, I mean I feel like we've done it a lot and we're very comfortable with it. We've been doing it since high school, and I feel like the biggest part of it is just having a kicker that trusts you, because that makes it so much easier. And I've been fortunate to have kickers that have trusted me with it, and the exact same thing with Johnny. I mean, he's had kickers that have trusted him, and that's always nice when like I said, when your kicker trusts you, because it takes a lot of pressure off.
Johnny,
has anybody ever kicked you?
You said
has anybody kicked you? Yeah, like kicked your finger, or like I feel like this is something that can happen more often. Like, I don't feel like that's a ridiculous question.
I've gotten close. Like if there was like a low snap or something, and you have to trap it and then pick it back up and get it down.
Yeah.
If you really don't like pull that offhand off like very quick, like there's been times like in practice where I've had the ball like nick my finger on the way out. But luckily I haven't had it where like it's like both hands are on the ball and it's just blasted through my hands.
Yeah, Johnny looked at me like I was crazy for asking if your finger had ever been kicked. He's just like, what?
I guess I've never been asked that before, but I guess it's not too bizarre of a question, to be honest.
No.
It's
you're
really
holding a football and somebody's swinging their leg rampantly around.
right.
Yeah.
Rampantly, like they're not practicing. Someone walks out there from the stands and is trying to kick you.
Hey, Tommy, who has better hair, you or Trevor Lawrence?
Who has better hair?
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, I don't know. That's not for me to say. That's not for me to say.
Oh, you gotta brag sometime, bro. Just flex on them real quick.
I get the Trevor Lawrence thing all the time. I mean, I doubt he's gotten Tommy Townsend, but
I don't know. I didn't get the chance to interview him. Like, did you draw your inspiration from Tommy Townsend? I can see it.
Yeah. Bit your
honestly,
swag a little bit.
When I started growing out my hair, I didn't even know who he was.
Oh, that's a flex. That's a flex. Who's this guy?
Not like that. Like, I don't know. I just didn't know who he was. Like, I don't know.
He wasn't really relevant because that was your first year, or that was his first year starting at quarterback is when you started growing your hair.
Shoot, I've been growing it out for about 3 years, and I guess that's when like he like really came into the scene. So I mean, I didn't really know much. That was back when oh my gosh, who was it? Who was the quarterback that was at Clemson before him, and he ended up beating out?
Couldn't tell you.
He was a kid that went to Missouri.
Kelly, right?
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
Kelly Bryant.
Yeah, Kelly Bryant.
Kelly Bryant. Yeah, he ended up going to Missouri. I knew him. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is like one of the biggest names in football now, so I can't compete with that.
Tommy Townsend is one of the biggest names in punting. Johnny's right up there with him. Hey, what do you guys like more? Do you guys like booming the ball as far as you can go, or do you like that kind of the coffin corner thing?
I think they both have different thrills to them. I mean, there's nothing better than just pinning a ball inside the 5-yard line. There's also nothing more fun than just ripping a ball downfield and just really connecting with 1-2. They're both very different feelings, but for me, I just love when a ball will stick on its own inside the 10-yard line. I think that's one of the coolest feelings ever compared to just like swinging away on one.
Yeah, that's about the only time like where I run downfield and I'm like screaming, like going crazy, as if I punt a ball and like it just hits on the 2 and just kicks straight up and sits down flat. Like that's one of the best feelings. I mean, that happened this year against the Falcons. It happened against Denver. Well, we were playing in Denver and it was snowing, and I just hit one of those end over end balls. I had a little wind at my back and I hit like an end over end ball. And ended up going like 56, 58. It hit on like the 1 or 2 yard line and skipped straight right. And one of my gunners, Byron Pringle, he was down there and caught it and took it out of bounds. And I was just screaming, going crazy down there. Like Johnny said, it's hard to beat when you get a ball that just kicks up in the 5.
So Johnny, I know that you're a golfer. Tommy, are you a golfer as well?
Yeah, big golfer.
Okay. So I know that there's ways to put backspin on a ball or to put some roll on it. How do you do it when you're punting? Is that something that's natural, or is that just something that just kind of happens when just the way that gravity takes it?
Yeah, you just drop it a different way.
Okay.
Yeah, I really can't, to be honest. I can't manipulate a golf ball like that. It just kind of rolls where it rolls. But for the football, yeah, you just drop it slightly different ways to kind of manipulate the contact and kind of change the rotation. Yeah, when we kick those balls in the red zone that try to keep it up, we drop it more kind of straight up and down, so we're generating that backwards end-over-end rotation compared to the normal traditional spiral you'll see us hit in the open field.
Right.
I got a locker room question. So like in 2013, with all the injuries, I think it was Dominic Easley like didn't know Christian Provantia's name. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's Christian Provolone." What's life like in the locker room for the punter? Like other than the time when your gunner is happy and you're happy that he downs it on the one. What's life like for a punter in the locker room? How confident are you that the other 52 guys know who you are in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like in college, I feel like me and Johnny were fairly well respected by other players because guys kind of like recognized we weren't just punters, like we were pretty decent athletes. But I mean, one thing going into this year, like I just made sure of is I didn't want to go in there and just be like all the way out there and causing a bunch of attention to myself. I mean, because it's the NFL. I mean, guys, I feel like especially during training camp, like they really don't get to care. They don't care to get to know you because so many guys are in and out. So I mean, going into Kansas City, I mean, the one thing, like especially like going to a team with an all-star team with guys like Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, we had Sammy Watkins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyrann Mathieu. So many big name guys. Like the last thing I want to do is go in the locker room and try and like insert myself like way too much. So I tried to go in pretty laid back and just get to know the guys over time. And I mean I'm pretty glad I did because I don't want to be the jackass that comes in that everyone hates right off the bat.
Oh, and Johnny was the 2015 Florida Gator offensive MVP. I don't know if that was officially recognized by the team, but I crowned him that. With 83 punts that year. What is life like for when you're out at Midtown and you say, "Yeah, I'm on the football team"? They look at you or they're like, "No, you're not."
That's one thing I never did. I was never that guy that walked around and tried to make it known.
No.
Yeah, never going to draw attention to yourself when you're in Midtown.
I'd have been down in my shoulder pads, like
wearing the jersey out like it was the Friday before a home game.
I had to borrow my mouthpiece in.
Yeah. Me and Johnny have never really been those people that show up in our full travel suits.
I've seen it done before. I've seen guys show up to the bars in their full workout clothes.
I can see it. I could probably name some names too.
Yeah,
save you some time.
And then one more. You're having technical issues. What you've helped raise Tommy for most of his life, and then as an 18-year-old kid, he decides to go to Tennessee. Just how disappointing is that as an older brother?
Yeah, I actually thought it was a pretty exciting thing to have him choose his own path, and I was looking forward to the rivalry we were going to have within our family. Like Tennessee versus Florida. I thought that would have just been a pretty cool thing. But I think he made the right choice of coming back to Gainesville and finishing his career there. But I think we played against Tennessee 2014, Tommy's first year. His redshirt year.
2015 in the swamp, yeah.
Was that 15?
15, yeah.
You're getting old, Johnny.
I'm guessing Mom was probably the one least happy about it because your parents are at everything, and it's a quick drive up.
Plays over at the ATO house,
yeah.
pounding shots before Mom's over there at the stadium taking pictures. I can see it.
Yeah, we gave them the opportunity to kind of do a victory lap where they can go back to college again and spend 8 years with us going through UF football and kind of just live it up again. So yeah, they had a blast with all that stuff.
I'm sure she was freaking out. Where are we going on Saturday? Are we flying to Knoxville? Are we driving to Gainesville? So the coming back to Gainesville probably made Clay and Susan very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I told him a bunch of the time, most of the games that season, they came out for a few, but most of the time I was telling them, no, just go to Gainesville, like, go watch Johnny play. Like, I'm just going to be sitting on the sidelines. So you might as well just go watch him play, But yeah.
Tommy, I got to ask you, we used to have Ahmad Black on the show, and he was number 35 as a safety. You're wearing Eric Lindros's number 88. Which isn't traditional for a punter. Why?
So I actually didn't choose 88, and to be honest, I hated it for the longest time. But yeah, when I transferred in, I mean, of course, like, I'm just some like random transfer walk-on punter. Like, I'm not going to play anytime soon, and they just slap 88 straight on my back. Didn't give me a choice about it. But I mean, the same thing kind of happened at Tennessee. I mean, I show up and they gave me 27, but I warmed up to 27 pretty quick, and I liked that a lot. And then I tried to get that when I came to Florida, but they were like, nah, you're stuck in 88. And finally, like, when it comes around, like, time for me to play, like, I finally start warming up to 88, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, like, I guess I can make this my thing. Like, it's whatever. And like 3 games into the season, they're like, oh, we're having an issue on field goal, and we might need to put a tight end there, so you're gonna have to switch numbers. And I was like, well, like, come on, like, why couldn't I switch numbers like years back? Like, why are you doing this to me now? But yeah, I go in there and I'm talking to Coach Mullen, and I actually felt kind of bad because he's sitting there like I asked him about some numbers, and he's like, oh no, not this one, and he's like, oh, like, how about 36? And of course, like, at the time, like, Coach Mullen, like, he'd only been there for a short while, and I didn't know much about how 36 was his number. And I was like, I don't know about 36,
There it is.
But looking back, if I would have known about his history with 36, I probably would have just taken it. But I ended up going with 43 because I wore that number back in the day in Pop Warner, and I was like, you know what, it's not that bad of a number. I see specialists wearing it all the time, but screw it, I'll just go with that. But yeah.
Now you guys are both the same number, right, Johnny? Are you still 5 in the NFL?
I'm 6 now.
Oh, you're 6
now.
now.
I was 5 for a little bit. I'm 6 now. Yeah.
You just want to let Tommy know you're a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Dude, I love it. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Johnny, once again, plug your foundation, and then Tommy, once he's done, if you've got anything going on, tell people they can follow you on social media and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we got 2 days left. Anybody that's willing to donate to the Johnny Townsend Foundation, all the proceeds go to Shands Pediatric Hospital. You'll be in the drawing for 2 tickets to join me and some Gator greats and some current players in the Swamp for Topgolf next Saturday, the 24th. And it also includes a one-night stay. So the link to the giving page is in all my social media bios, Instagram, Johnny Townsend, Twitter, Johnny Townsend 1. Or you can just Google Johnny Townsend Fund on Google, and it'll pop right up. So check it out.
I like it. Hey, real quick, man, before y'all get out of here, can I get that kicker tutor number? That whoever taught y'all how to kick, let me get his number before y'all get out of here. I need a backup plan for Junior.
Well, we can figure that out.
Yeah, I got a couple lessons for him. I got him.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, fellas. Thanks for hanging out.
I'll follow up and plug Johnny's foundation. Like he said, links in his bio. Go check it out. But also, if you want to fund my failing golf game, you can shoot me on Instagram, and I'll drop my Venmo. And you can shoot me some money for balls, gloves, maybe some new irons. We'll see.
I love it, dude. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out with us for an hour. Johnny, glad you got your connection working, man. It was great to hang out with you guys and see you guys again.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to do it again soon.
Hey, best of luck, guys.
Appreciate it, boys.
All right, you guys.
Enjoy. The Townsend brothers, Johnny and Tommy.
Yeah.
We got to figure out how to get some Wi-Fi up to Baltimore.
He was in Gainesville, I think, with Tommy earlier today, and then with the whole OTAs and stuff going on, I think he's up in Baltimore. Listen, just signed with Baltimore like week 16 last year.
Right.
and you're one of 32 jobs in the NFL. Hey, I might be the only one to show up to OTAs, but I'm not losing my job over a no show at OTAs.
Y'all got there early and just help prep the field or something.
This just unnecessary punter slander.
No, I like punters. I'm just saying, like, if I want to secure my spot, I just do a little bit more around the facilities.
Help painting, pick up some towels.
It's like, what else do you have to do, I mean, what's a couple hours? Stay in shape, be out in the sun, enjoy the weather.
They got a lot of time. It's interesting. So they got their whole punters and kickers do their like football practice. They're on their own thing. They're on their own program. They're not even on the same field until it's like time to specifically practice special teams. So they got plenty of time to do some lifting.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to Eric Wilbur about it before, when he was on the show. I mean, they do weird stuff over there because they got nothing but time. Right, like how many times are you going to kick the ball in a day? Right, like they're playing all these games. I think they said that they ordered pizza one time.
I have found that punters seem more cool than field goal kickers.
They're weird, man. And Eddie Pinero blocked me on Twitter because I said kickers are weird. But that's like the whole.
Yeah, you deserved it.
Maybe.
How are you the pro kicker guy and you calling him weird? You like the kicker guy?
I'm the punter guy. Totally different positions.
Oh, okay.
Totally different. Kickers got weird, they're superstitious. You've got one shoe on one foot, you got a soccer cleat on the other one. There's a lot going on. Punters are just the salt of the earth kind of people. Somebody you want to have a beer with at Salty.
I can see that, Nick. We might get the kickers are weird T-shirt made.
That might be. I put it on there. Yeah. I should have worn my punters are people too shirt. I got a whole shirt. Should have worn that.
How does it feel to know that your entire existence on Twitter, well, not entire, but a good 90% of it, has been taken over by a guy at Barstool Sports?
Who's that?
What's his name? Pat McAfee. I guess he was he was an actual punter.
An actual NFL punter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stole your sauce.
I think he won a Super Bowl with the Colts with Peyton Manning.
Oh, really? Do you think he was the reason they won, or?
Probably.
Yeah, I can see it.
Probably the winner. Yeah, I think I didn't originate it. I think I either heard it from him or from Rich Eisen.
No. Pat McAfee stole your sauce. That's what.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I heard him start saying it after. Yeah,
right.
Pat McAfee stole your sauce.
I got Swagger Jacks. What you're saying?
Yeah.
I think he wears weird socks now too.
It is what it is.
I think he wears weird socks now too, like you.
Weird socks. I mean, you're just full of bad takes. What did I sign up for? I got Dan's bar takes, your bad sock takes.
I'm just warming up, man. That's all. Just warming up. I know you got some slander.
No, that's to me that's interesting. What I wanted to get from them, and I don't know if we got the whole truth, but Dominic Easley, we were laughing he had no idea who the walk-on quarterback was, and I'm guessing if you asked the starting defensive tackle, hey, who's the punter? Unless it's someone who's been around for a while, might not know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. Did he really say Christian Provolone?
Christian Provolone.
That's incredible.
Dominic Easley had no idea who Christian Provencio was. He was a snap or two away from starting in that season.
Was he before or after all the people on the internet wanted Jacob Guy to play quarterback?
Dominic Easley didn't know a lot of things though, so I'm not he thought Bear Bryant was a cartoon character, so I'm not surprised at what he don't know.
Dominic Easley said that he would rather watch SpongeBob than an NFL game.
Right, so he's a different type of guy altogether.
He's from New York. They're not watching. What are they doing when he's growing up? Watching Rutgers? They're not watching college football.
I don't know what he was watching.
He was an interesting cat, man. He marched to the beat of his own drum. That's for sure. He was fun. He was a fun guy to be around and interview.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to get Luke Del Rio on the show. Super excited to bring him on. As always, this segment of our show is brought to you by our friends Lee Friedland of the law firm of Friedland and Associates. He's going to help you with auto accidents, medical malpractice, nursing home cases, criminal matters, and personal injury cases. Give him a call, 1-800-95-INJURED, or visit him at yourfightourbattle.com. Again, 1-800-95-INJURED, yourfightourbattle.com. All right, cut there. Luke, how are you, buddy?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, it's great to have you on the show. If just quick introduction, Spencer and Cam in your top probably top corners of your screen. They do social media and our producer. And then we've got Corey Soak and then Nick Delatore from Gator's territory. He used to be with Gator Country.
Nice. Good
So it's
meeting
good to
you.
have
How's it
you.
going?
Going good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good.
Good. So we'll talk a little bit about, how you got to UF, a little bit about your story, about your time at UF, and then obviously what you're doing now. I'm sure there'll be a question or two about your dad and growing up in a coaching family and all that, but try to keep it 15, 20 minutes or so. But man, we really appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Sweet. So we'll just do a quick countdown, quick introduction. We'll start off with a question. We'll take it from there.
Cool.
So 3, 2, 1. And joining us for the first time on Stadium in Gale is a former Florida Gators quarterback, Luke Del Rio. Luke, it is a pleasure to have you on this evening. You've been a guest that a lot of people have requested, so we appreciate your time this evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to talk a little bit of Florida football. It's been a while.
Absolutely. Well, Luke, talk to us a little bit about kind of your childhood and you growing up. You're the son of an NFL coach. You travel around the country, quite a bit. You end up in Jacksonville for a while. You go through the high school ranks and you end up walking on to University of Alabama. Talk to us a little bit about what that experience was like growing up, and then ultimately how you made it to Alabama, and then ultimately your story about how you made it to Florida.
Yeah, it was a unique upbringing for sure. Moved a lot, unless you're in coaching or the military, you can't really know what it's like to just move in the middle of a year. Even if you do move a lot, you typically get to finish the school year at least. It was pretty rare where it was a clean break like that for me. Even my senior year of high school, I was there for like 10 months, not even a full year. So had offers coming out of high school. Oklahoma State, Oregon State, UCLA came in late. But I knew who was going to Alabama because I had played with them at the Elite 11 and Cooper Bateman and Parker McLeod. And I felt like I stacked up well against them. And I also was drawn to Alabama because their whole thing, the whole recruiting pitch that Nick Saban in Alabama gave, which he still gives, it kind of went viral a few months ago. A recruit filmed it, is basically, we're going to win with or without you. It's, do you want to be here? Do you want to challenge yourself to be here and compete with and against the best? So that really kind of drew me in, and I decided to forego taking a scholarship at other places that really wanted me and kind of quote unquote earning it at Alabama. So I go there and I'm 7th string when I get there. AJ McCarron had just beat Notre Dame like 42-13 or something crazy like that. And after spring ball, I had beaten out Cooper and Parker. So I was like 4th. One guy transferred. And then in training camp, I beat out another guy. So I was 3rd. And then when we played Texas A&M and Johnny Manziel, which was an insane game, I get told in the locker room right before we go out, hey, if AJ gets hurt, then Blake Sims is going to go in. But we're really looking to put you in. That's kind of like a to get you ready type of deal. Now, if we're killing them, then Blake's going to go and we're not going to burn your red shirt. So I didn't know that, but I was kind of the emergency backup that year. But I still redshirted. And then at the end of the year, they didn't put me on scholarship. So, I mean, I feel like I earned it. I still do to this day. I feel like I earned a scholarship. I beat out 5.5 of their quarterbacks. So transferred to Oregon State, was there for a year. Whole staff gets fired there. Mike Riley's last year there. Right. Met my wife there, so that was great. But transferred to Florida, walked on at Florida, knew Jim McElwain from my recruitment at Alabama, and sat a year, earned a scholarship, and then had my career there.
What was it like to transfer from Alabama to Oregon State to Florida? All very different culturally. What was it like to assimilate? What was it like, in the locker room? What was that whole assimilation process like?
And how much of your upbringing, I guess, prepared you for that? Just having to move around so much.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely helped a lot. When you're moving, you need to make friends quickly. A lot of people grow up. If it's not in the same town, it's usually the same state at least. I lived in a bunch of different states. Born in Minnesota, New Orleans, North Carolina, Baltimore, Jacksonville, Denver. I mean, that's just before I got to college. So it helped a lot, and having to kind of maneuver the different cultures and different senses of humor that you get, it helped a lot then, and it still helps now. You're kind of forced to grow up pretty quickly, and sports helps with that too. Like when you're making friends, whoever's on your team, it's kind of your friends. So Oregon State was a shock, because you go from Alabama, where if you lose a game, it's like a failure of a season. We lost. I was on the kick 6 team, so that was obviously a huge loss. And then we went to play Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl, and like nobody cared about it because it wasn't the national championship, and that was just crazy to me. But I go to Oregon State, where if you make a bowl game, if you just win 6 games, they are fired up. So very different, very different. Got to meet a lot of good people there. The team itself is different. Demographically, you get a lot of polys on the West Coast, especially Pacific Northwest. So that was different. Great guys, loved them. But again, different cultural things that I kind of got exposed to. And then going back to Florida was much more similar to what I was kind of used to growing up in Jacksonville and at Alabama as well.
It maybe too early to bring it up, but it was Florida. When you're the quarterback at Florida, you do a lot of media. I mean, you're talking to us here in the local media 2-3 times a week. You've got, you're playing a big game, and now you're doing CBS interviews. We always thought in the local media, man, Luke does not want to be here. And we can kind of see it like facially and with your expressions. You always gave great answers, and you're always gracious with your time, but we were like, man, he's just like, sometimes we ask stupid questions and like you'd give like an eye roll, or like, yeah, no, that was a dumb question. But what was it just like getting used to, like you said, you're a walk on at Alabama, then you go to Oregon State, where they're just happy to be on the field and playing football, to Florida, and now it's, hey, the same expectations as Alabama, and I'm the face of the program, at least in the media, being the starting quarterback and coming out here and doing this all the time.
Yeah, when I was named the starter and it kind of got ramped up, just the amount of attention that you get, it's easy to see it like from a distance as a fan or as a high school recruit, like the amount of attention that you're going to get. But to have to deal with it like day in and day out, it kind of wears on you. And I definitely didn't handle it. Like looking back, I think like I was like a jerk, like the way I handled a lot of those questions, and just body language, and there's no need to be like standoffish with somebody just trying to get like a simple answer. So looking back on it, I definitely wish I handled it differently. I'll take it as a growing pain and all of that, but I think I didn't understand at the time just kind of how much it was going to be, day in, day out, week in, week out. And then you add on top of, if we're not winning, or if we are winning, but I'm not playing well. And then there's certain things that get out and certain things that don't, performance wise or injury wise, things that I'm dealing with that the public doesn't necessarily know about. So then you feel like, they're kind of out to get you, and they don't even know what you're kind of playing through. So those were things that I had a hard time balancing. And I wish I knew, like, this isn't just this media doing this. This happens everywhere. Like, this isn't just, they're not out to get me. It's just a part of the game. So I wish I kind of had that perspective that I have a little more of now. Wish I had that back then for sure.
Well, it's you mentioned it because obviously we know about your shoulder was hurt, or, the collarbone, but like you're playing through ankle injuries, knee injuries, and that's stuff that you would love to say, hey, you're giving me so much crap for how I played Saturday. Here's what I'm actually going through. But then the coaching staff doesn't want that out. Hey, we don't need our next opponent to know that. And that's stuff that, we in the media, if we had gotten that information, like, hey, Luke Del Rio's playing on a sprained MCL. That's why he's not doing this or doing that. But there's some stuff, like you just said, that doesn't get out in the media that would make someone say, oh, okay, well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, for sure. And, it comes with the territory. I shouldn't have you shouldn't try to play the victim in that way. I don't think, especially like where I'm at now with Washington. a guy that could make any excuse and people would accept it. Last year, Alex Smith with his leg, I mean, he could have easily used that as a kind of a crutch whenever he wanted to, if he missed any type of throw, and he never did. So being able to see that example last year, kind of the most extreme example that you see of it, and how he handled it, it takes a special type of guy to be able to handle the amount of pain and kind of, limitations that his leg was putting him under and still win games. So I'm impressed when I see people that I know are playing through injuries, be able to sustain the performance and sustain just kind of their person, how they handle people, the media, teammates, coaches, friends, professors, any of it. So it's very impressive to me because I obviously, wasn't very good at handling it.
Oh, I mean, you were 22 years old. I probably would have handled it worse, but I think we also forget that just the age and everything that's going on. You've got a social life and school and meetings and all this stuff. And it's hard because you just see, a lot of people just see, that's the guy that's on TV wearing the helmet of the team that I like. And you forget everything else that kind of goes into it.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Luke, want to ask you about your time at Florida. Talk to us a little bit about that experience. You dealt with some injuries. You dealt with, an offense that, a lot of fans just kind of seem to bemoan. And, I'm curious to see what your experience was like as a quarterback and as a player on that team, and as a leader on that team, what that experience was like for you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I wish I enjoyed it more in the moment. It's easy to get wrapped up in how much you're dealing with and how much anxiety you have week to week. Just, everybody's watching your performance. Everybody's watching you at practice. Everybody's watching you in the game. And even if you win, you better play well. And that's why I loved playing in the SEC, because it really matters to everybody. And I remember I was in a public speaking class that was required for my major, and I played against North Texas, and I got my knee hit. And I sprained my MCL, and I showed up to class the next day, or the next day we had class on Monday, and I was in like a straight leg brace and crutches, and people were like, I can't believe you're like the same guy that I have class with that I just saw get his leg hit. It kind of clicked for some people. I remember that pretty vividly. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to forget when you see somebody playing with the logo of the team that you root for, that there's somebody behind it.
Yeah, there's a person.
I'm upset that none of your classmates hit up my DMs and was like, "Hey, Luke is in a straight leg brace. This needs to be a story.
Nick needs better source.
I need better informants in class. That's what I need."
I think it helped my grade in that class, so it ended up working out. But and college is an awesome time. It's a lot of fun, but it's also, it's that age where going through a lot of personal growth and kind of finding out who you are and what you like to do and all of that. And then you throw on top of that, sports and highly televised, publicized sports at that. It's tough. It's tough. But going back to the offense that we played in, it's funny because my freshman year, Nuss was there at Alabama, and they had just rolled everybody and put up 40-plus points a game. They were scoring like the Alabama team did this year. Not quite as much, but scoring a lot. It was different, though. It was more pro style, more multiple. And I just think, honestly, we were a year or two too slow to adapt to kind of the spread scheme that everybody else had. We were still a little pro style, and we saw other teams doing it. We saw other teams going to more spread. It was working for a lot of them, but it wasn't working for everybody. It wasn't like a slam dunk. Why aren't you doing this? And Nuss had so much success doing it. He had really good offenses at Alabama. So I get, looking back, it's like, oh my God, how do we even run that? Like that's hard to look at. But in the time, it was like, hey, this has worked like really recently. There's a point where you need to adapt and obviously do what puts your players in the best position to succeed, but also do what you have confidence in and you have experience doing. So there is a balance there. But I tell you what, Dan Mullen's offense looks like it's a lot of fun. to play in. I'm really impressed with the job that he's done there.
So Luke, I wanted to ask you, what do you think it was about the Nuss fight? So obviously, Nussmeier had a successful career at Alabama. He's still coaching in the NFL. Jim McElwain was well known for his offenses at Alabama, Colorado State. He's doing fine up in Central Michigan. I don't remember how he did last year, but at least the year before COVID. What do you think it was that didn't quite work for the two of them at the University of Florida?
Yeah, I don't think it was any one thing. Obviously that quarterback could have played better, but other than that, I don't really know if it was any one thing. It's hard to go back and say, oh, if we just did this better, if we just hit, more post routes, if we just blocked better, if we just had a better run game. It's all of that, to be honest. I played with Kadarius Toney for a year, and you see him, he's probably going to be a first-round draft pick. So it's not like we didn't have talented guys. And I know that those guys are good coaches. I mean, Nuss is the quarterback coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
You don't get that unless you're a good coach. So I don't know. It's a good question. It's hard to kind of say.
Yeah. So go ahead, Nick.
I thought, and it probably became more clear to me in 2017. I just think that Jim didn't understand the fan base and the expectations, because in his mind, hey, I was brought here to compete for SEC championships, and first year, get there. And that's a competitive game with Alabama. Second year, get there, not so much. And then it's the fan base is turning on him. And to me, I just didn't think he understood. He's like, why do they hate me? Why are they angry? Why are they mad? We're getting to Atlanta. That's what I'm here to do. And I think it was just he didn't understand the hate that he was getting, because in his mind, we're doing what we were brought here to do.
Yeah. And it's hard because Florida Gator fans are the best. I mean, they are so passionate, so loyal. I definitely had my spats with a fair amount of them. But where it gets frustrating as a player and with Mac is, okay, you just brought me in. I won 10 games. We made it to Atlanta. And it's always like, okay, what's next? With Mullen, like he won, I think it was 9 games and then 10 games. He's been winning a lot since he got there. And I keep seeing things every offseason where it's like, is this Mullen's year where we need to move on or something? It's like, you have a great coach. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the grass is not always greener. Just because it's not a national championship every year doesn't mean it's a bad. I mean, I'm telling you, look around the country. You could be at so many different spots as a program, and I understand high expectations, and I have them too. Trust me.
I got a few questions, Luke.
Go ahead.
During those 10, we're talking about the 10-win season. Did you guys get to enjoy those wins? How were the good seasons?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. Really talented team. And I wasn't playing that year because I had to stay out because I transferred. But really fun team, talented team. And yeah, we enjoyed the wins for sure.
Okay. What was it the part around the time when McElwain, the death threats came out? Like what was that like from a player's perspective?
Yeah, it got weird. I was hurt. I had a broken collarbone then. It happened really fast. Like it was like we were winning, and then all of a sudden we lost a couple. I got hurt. Like 4 seniors got hurt for like the year against Arkansas the year before. And then, sorry, I'm getting the years mixed up. So we played Arkansas, and like 4 or 5 of us got hurt for the year. We were done. I come back. Mac's still there. We start Felipe. I get put in, break my collarbone. And then all of a sudden, we win that game. I remember we win that game, and I think we were 4-0 or something, or 3-1 because we lost to Michigan in the opener. And we lost maybe 1 or 2 more. And I remember the fan base kind of got fed up, and Matt could have done more to kind of stay positive or say the right things. And, I don't think he helped himself out in every situation where he could have. But, and then leading up to the Georgia game where it got ugly, you heard the death threats thing. And then once you see I've always said the media fires you before anybody else does. Once the media turns on you and decides like we need to get him out. Once I started seeing buyout on Twitter, it's like, ooh, this might get ugly. And unfortunately it did. And I don't think a lot good comes from firing your coach mid-year. I get you get a head start on the coaching hiring process, but I guarantee there's plenty of ADs that wait till the end of the year when they know they're going to have to coach halfway through the year. So I didn't really agree with the timing of it, but it's a results business and you got to win.
Right. Why do you think they couldn't get it going, the offense? Of course, there were some wins there. As we can see, the talented players that are going to the NFL draft now, he recruited and evaluated decently. So what do you think went wrong for those guys, Nuss and McElwain?
Yeah, I mean, going back earlier, I don't think it was really any one thing. I think it was just a collection of things, and they kind of fall like they do at a lot of places. I couldn't really point out one thing, though.
Got you. Go ahead, Nick. No, you good. Go ahead.
Well, it was. He said if the quarterback played better, little self-deprecating.
For sure.
What was it like when you first stopped playing ball? You was covering the Gators for a little bit. What was that experience like?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was up in New York City working in a fintech industry. It is as boring as it sounds. Don't do it. Living in a tiny apartment with my then fiance and my yellow lab, who's actually right here. And I just kind of started doing it. I remember the whole Kaepernick thing was going on, and I wanted to kind of give my take on it. And it didn't really blow up, but I got more attention than I expected. And I realized I enjoyed it. And so every day at work, I was looking forward to lunch because that's when I would go live and talk about it. And I remember my boss pulled me in. He was like, "You're doing a fine job, but, whenever I bring up sports around you, like you light up, like you never do doing your real job. So, have you thought about getting back into sports?" And that kind of led to that. And I gave it about 50 episodes, and I realized, it might be something I'll do again one day, but it was a little too surface level for me. Because I had played and I had grew up around it. I just knew that there was way more that you can't really openly discuss. I'll equate it to like, I took calculus in college. It made no sense to me. And I'm good at math, but calculus made no sense to me. You can't try to talk calculus to somebody that is learning times tables.
Right.
It's similar to that, where like I could go deep into football, but like, it's not really good conversation. One, it's not really fun to listen to if you don't really understand some of it. So you just had to stay so kind of hot takey and the main topics. And if I was in the media right now covering the NFL, like I know they can't wait for the draft to come because they have just been belaboring every single topic over and over again. So I enjoyed it, but that's kind of why I got out of it.
Luke, talk to us a little bit about your new role. You're a quality assurance guy or quality analyst with the Washington football team. What's that role consist of, and where do you see your career kind of going from here?
Yeah, so I'm offensive quality control, and that is a wordy title. It basically, I help the entire offensive staff. I break down film. I present the scouting report to the entire offense, but we have a pretty big staff, so it's kind of unique. I actually get to work with quarterbacks, so in a way, I'm an assistant to the quarterback coach and the offense coordinator. Help with game planning, make it put ball sheet. I'm one of the guys that does, and then coordinate scout team and really the smaller little things that the quarterbacks need during the week to prepare. I make those for them. So that's kind of my role. And, eventually the next step would be quarterback coach. And then after that, offense coordinator, that's the line that it goes in. But, yeah, I'm really enjoying it, learning a ton. Got really lucky to have Alex Smith, who's played for, 7 years before he retired, which, I was happy to see that he did because he proved everything that he could have done last year. Really, really happy for him. But, yeah, and then we get Ryan Fitzpatrick this year, who's played for 16 years. So
yeah,
I've got
Miami Dolphins legend.
Yeah, he's a very good guy and a Harvard grad. So
Yeah,
he's on the brighter side for sure.
whenever you meet him, just let him know you went to the Harvard of the South.
Right. Yeah. Harvard of the South, Stanford of the East. That's right.
That's right.
What it might be hard, when you're in a situation, kind of like we talked about, when you were at Florida, but have you thought about how cool it is with, how when you're growing up, how busy your dad is working his job to be able to go to the same office as your dad and to travel the country and to have these experiences with him? Have you had a chance or a moment that was like, man, this is really cool. Like I'm going through this in the beginning of my career and I'm getting to do it with my dad so closely.
Yeah. I'm really fortunate to be able to do that. And actually last year, so we got here in like late January, and then we were here for about a month before we got sent home. Everybody was in lockdown, right? So when we came back, we went straight into training camp. So actually, my wife and I actually lived with my dad last year because it was like, hey, I can't find a house right now. Like we're in season. Like I can't do this right now. So got to spend a ton of time with him. I see him every day. I don't work with him because obviously he's on defense, but it's probably better that way. We get to kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and we never really compete in that way. But it's been great. I'm really, really lucky. One, to just have a job in the NFL. Like trust me, I understand how difficult it is to get a job in the NFL. And then two, to be with my dad is very unique, and very thankful. It's really cool.
Well, Luke, I appreciate you coming on the show tonight. Talk to us about where we can follow you on social media, where Gator fans can follow you and kind of keep up with your next stage of your career and your life.
Yeah, I tell you what, I used to have this down. Like when I was doing my drop back podcast, I could like spit everything out in like 20 seconds. To be honest, I'm really not that active anymore.
Okay.
I got married.
Congrats.
2 years ago, and other than pregame photos with my dad,
okay,
I've posted twice.
Oh man. Okay.
I see more negatives to it now than anything. And I'm not just speaking.
Sure.
Trust me, I'm not just speaking in the football fan sense. I'm not a player anymore. Like it doesn't bother me. But with everything going on, I find it much more peaceful to kind of stay off. You're gonna anger about half the people no matter what you say. So
real quick, what do you think about are you following the Gators right now? What do you think about the quarterback room?
So I don't know any of them personally, but I do know of them, if that makes sense. Obviously Emory has played in a lot of games, but he hasn't started any games, and I've heard good things just talking to people from is it Richardson? Anthony Richardson, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And then they actually have another Del Rio there now.
Right.
Carlos Del Rio, right?
Yeah, it's a cousin or something.
Yeah. Once or twice removed.
Right.
I've seen a resemblance.
Yeah, uncanny, right? So I don't know. I think it's going to be closer than people think. Obviously, with Emory, you play in. I'm guessing he's playing over probably 20 games. You would think, oh, he's next up, but I would expect.
Has he played in 20 games? I don't think he's played in that many games. That's all the games.
Maybe.
Or at least 10. He's every game that I've watched, he's been there. I think he's at least taken a snap. Might not be 20.
Oh, for sure. No, he's played some important downs for sure.
So he's got a lot of experience for never having quote unquote started.
Right.
Whereas the other guys, I don't know if they've ever taken a snap. So I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be a important year because they lost a lot of talent, especially on the offensive side. So I'll be interested and I'll be watching.
He's got 24 games played. Luke's on it.
24.
There he is.
And real quick, before we get you out of here, we didn't even ask about Kyle Trask. Obviously, the year that he had, and you were on campus, shared a locker room with him, and at some point, we're probably in the media thinking he might just be happy to be here. And
Hey,
just
man,
be happy
real quick, let's give Luke his roses. Luke had said after when the Franks started faltering a little bit and it got a little weird that Dan could possibly lose the fan base if he didn't bench Franks.
I remember that.
He caught a lot of heat for that, but I'm gonna give him his flowers on that. And
I
think he's a little bit ahead of the curve.
I remember the blowback on that. That was not smart. But yeah, I just, I'd been with Kyle for 2 years, and I mean, the maniacal work ethic that the guy has and the type of person that he is, and to never start a game in high school, to just be like the relief pitcher on third down when De'Aaron King was in, was really unique. It was like Matt Castle-ish, but high school version. And he was really talented. I mean, you guys saw this year and last year how talented he was. And I didn't think that there was this huge gap between him and Felipe physically. So I knew even if Kyle wasn't the starter, if he was the backup or even scout team, I knew that he was going to be working and getting better. And I was so happy for him to watch him play the way that he did and succeed the way he did. I mean, he threw 43 touchdowns. I think that's insane.
He went crazy.
So really, really happy for him. We actually talked to him because we're, prepping for the draft, and it was great to see him again. I hadn't seen him since. Saw Felipe as well, and it was good to catch up with those guys.
If you put your coach hat on now, what was the reason? Because Dan got a lot of credit, but I was like, hey, Dan didn't choose to start Kyle. Felipe got hurt, and then Kyle kind of just took it. If you put your coach hat on, what kept Kyle from earning a starting job either when you were there or after you were gone? I mean, it was still Felipe then.
Yeah, it's hard. Okay, so like practice-wise, they both look good. Felipe actually probably looked a little bit better. Kyle was always just a tick too slow in practice, and it's hard to speed up unless you play in games. Mm-hmm. It's hard to realize like how little time you have. So they were always like close in practice, and then they're like, well, we've seen Felipe do it in games. Like we've won games with Felipe. He is physically, some guys, they get in the game and they just freak out and they just can't play. So as a coach, it's like, we know he's not going to freak out. We know we at least have something with him. It's hard to turn in that known commodity for a guy, that you haven't really seen a lot of film of.
Go with the one instead of the unknown.
Yeah, unless situation. If it's a big difference, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But if it's close, then
yeah, keep in mind, like he said, he was coming off the bench in high school. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, yep.
The crazy story. You bring that to a Hollywood producer.
That's a Disney.
They wouldn't even make the movie. It makes no sense.
Yeah, right. Man. Well, if they ever make the movie, we know that Luke's got a spot in it.
Yeah. I just want a cup of coffee on that set.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it, man. Well, best of luck with everything, Luke. We're excited. We'll hopefully have you on in the future, man. But we really, really appreciate you chopping it up tonight.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the time. It was good to talk to you.
You got it, man. Good luck. Best of luck with everything. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Thanks, Luke.
Good one.
All right, brother.
You guys.
Luke Del Rio.
Luke unblocked me. I might unblock him now.
Yeah, I think so.
You're going to unblock him back?
I think it's time. I think that was a really good, solid interview.
Yeah. I think I'll unblock him.
Was that like the therapy session you think that Luke and Gator Nation needed?
I think
so. A little balance. See, like the Townsend unblocked me, Johnny unblocked me. So I think it's only right that I unblock Luke. Balance the world out. Yeah. It's balanced.
You get back what you put in.
We was talking about the quarterback room. He brought up Anthony Richardson. I want to ask y'all a quick question.
Yeah.
Who's the best Gator football basketball player?
What did that question elicit from that response?
No, we were just talking about the quarterback room. Anthony Richardson came up, and I seen him crossing over and dunking over the weekend.
I got you.
My brain went to
back when we were back in
Percy used to who?
I was in school.
You said who's the best basketball football player?
Yeah. All time, like not right now, just
Percy was good. Percy was
CI
good.
was pretty good, right?
Yeah, CI was a basketball player.
Wasn't who's some guys like Dexter's a guy who didn't start playing football until his junior going into his senior of high school because he was a hooper. I think Reese or Sharp too. maybe Sharp was. I don't know. I remember
for sure Sharp was.
We were at I can't remember what year it was. We were at Southwest Rec playing, and Percy and a bunch of the other guys were down on one of the other courts. And if Percy Harvin's playing, it doesn't matter if you're in the middle of the game. You're keeping an eye on Percy Harvin playing. And he went up for either a dunk or a layup, and he came down on somebody. And this is during football season. Came down on somebody's foot and rolled it and went down on the ground, and the entire place stopped. Every game stopped, turned just to see what happened to Percy, and do we need to beat up the guy that put his foot out that rolled Percy Harvin's ankle. He was just a freak athlete. There's so many guys, like you asked that question still, but there's so many guys that you'll look at and you'll be like, oh yeah, he's a defensive tackle. And then you see him do something and you're like, how does somebody that's 285, 300 pounds move that way? Like, these guys are unbelievable athletes regardless of position.
Sound like me.
Yeah.
I can see the resemblance for sure. I think that CJ Hawkins kid that comes in will probably be the next great.
Yeah. He's a hooper. He's a forward. Like he's a recruited basketball player.
I mean, it's got to be CI though, right? Like, he played on both.
Right.
He was a big physical dude. Probably could have gotten a scholarship to UF playing basketball. Obviously played football. I'm gonna go CI. That's an easy answer though.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some like slot wide receiver that ran a hell of a point. You know what I mean? All right, so take us into the Brunt ad read. Let's get through the Gator news of the week here.
Shout out to my man Greg and the great folks at Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. Anything you need insured, from the Panhandle to the Keys, my man Greg can take care of you. Whether it's your life, your home, your car,
your boat,
your boat, you got renter's insurance, anything you need insured, my man Greg could probably make that happen. Be sure to visit bruntinsurance.com or give them a call at 954-589-2204. Big coverage, big policies.
I love it. All right, we got a lot of news of the week this week, so let's run through it real quick. The Florida Gators today announced some football tickets are on sale, a little 3-pack action going on. You can choose from the Tennessee, Vanderbilt, or FAU or Samford game for $120. You can get the Alabama, Vanderbilt, and either FAU or Samford for $180. Or get that FSU, Vanderbilt, FAU, or Samford. I'm seeing a trend here. For $150. So choose either Tennessee, Alabama, and FSU, and determine if that's worth $120, $180, and $150. Shout out to Brett Hagee and Donovan Steiner, who were both named to the NFF Hampshire Honor Society, which is a part of the National Football Foundation and the College Hall of Fame, or College Football Hall of Fame. Honorees are comprised of college football players from all divisions of play who each maintain a 3.2 GPA or better throughout their career and are in a starter or significant contribution role. So shout out to both of them. Florida baseball goes 4-0 with a win over FSU. 3 wins over Missouri over the weekend. Garrett Milchin and Jack Leftwich combined for 12 strikeouts and allowed just 3 hits when UF played FSU. Kendrick Calio.
Come on, Dan. Come on, Dan.
You got it.
Come on, Dan.
Calilao.
Sound it out. Kendrick
Calilao. There's that I in there throws it off. Kendrick Calilao.
I still think you got it wrong, but go ahead.
Launched a walk-off home run, so Florida could beat number 24 Florida State 3-2. Tommy Mace was named one of 45 players to USA Baseball's Golden Spikes Award midseason list. Nick, I got a quick question. Does that go for high schoolers too, or is that just college?
No, that's just college.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the Player of the Year award for college.
Gotcha. Mike Zunino was the last Gator that won that back in, I think, 2012.
No.
Oh.
Mike Zunino was the first. He won in 2012. Logan Shore won in 2015, and Brady Singer won his junior year. They've had 3.
Very good. The Gator facts.
This is Gator baseball facts here. Heavy.
But brought by Nick Delatore. Appreciate that, Nick. Gators women's golf placed 9th in the SEC tournament. Gators gymnastics finished 4th overall in the country, right behind Michigan, Oklahoma, in Utah. That was Florida's 17th NCAA final appearance, so congratulations to them. Florida Gators lacrosse beat Vanderbilt 22-9 to clinch at least a share of the AAC title. They're 11-2 on the season, 8-0 in AAC play. Brianna Harris won her second straight Attacker of the Week. Shannon Kavanaugh, fifth Midfielder of the Week honor. And Kara Trumbetta rounded out Florida's honorees on the honor roll, her fifth time doing so this year. Florida Gators softball is 2-2 with a midweek loss to number 24 UCF, but then they took 2 of 3 against Alabama, the number 3 team in the country. Florida Gators men's swimmer Eric Fries officially made the German Olympic team in the 100 freestyle relay, so congratulations to him. Florida Gators men's swimming coach Anthony Nesty was named the SEC swimming coach of the year, for the third straight year. And with the departure of the women's coach last week to South Carolina, he was named Florida's women's coach as well. So congratulations to Anthony Nesty. And we will be getting him on the show this summer. And Gators volleyball is headed to Elite Eight. After beating Ohio State, they are literally playing against Wisconsin right now.
They're down 2-1, 2 sets to 1. They're in the 4th right now.
They're in the 4th, and the Gators are winning 15-14. So whenever you hear that, that is when we recorded the show. And finally, if you're one of the unfortunate folks, if you're one of the folks, that lives in Jacksonville, 1010 XL just became the official broadcast home of Florida football, men's basketball, and baseball. So if you live in Jacksonville and you don't have much to do, come into 1010 XL, the official broadcast home.
You're never gonna be allowed back in that city. Well, I don't know what you're gonna do for the Florida Georgia game.
That's fine. Don't plan on ever being there.
You gotta find your own tailgate because man, your block gonna be hot.
That's fine. I'm here for it.
Nick,
what's Dan's beef with Jacksonville?
I don't know, man.
I don't have any beef. It's just fun. It's just a running joke. All right, boys, I'm going to let you take out this podcast. I got a small little thing I got to handle. Love you, boys. Hey, Nick, glad to have you, brother.
Hold it down, man.
See you, Dan.
We got to start doing some deep baseball takes, Nick.
I told you need to get Junior out there.
He don't like baseball, bro. I can't force him, man. I'm just letting him kind of do his thing, whatever sports he want to play. But right now, it's soccer and basketball. We're going to see what flag football goes like this week. He gets his first practice.
Is this the first year for him for flag football?
Yeah. I've been letting him just gravitate towards it on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what about, there's a lot of dads now or parents talking about won't let, with all the CTE stuff come out, like won't let my kid play tackle football. My dad had like in Pop Warner had a friend of his paralyzed from, I think, like the neck down because of a bad tackle. So I didn't play tackle football until my freshman year when I got to high school. And at that point, he was like, "Well, I can't stop him anymore." Would you let him play tackle?
No time. So we're gonna do this flag for a long time, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he needs it. I think like at that age, just looking how little he was, I played tackle at that age. Actually, I started at 9. He's gonna be younger than I was, but I started at 9, and just looking back and remembering it, man, like just too small to really do what you need to do in pads.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it, but you just need to pick up the skills. I think flag, you can pick up the skills and learn the game through flag and avoid that contact. You know better, you do better, man. I can't have him just banging his head around for no reason right now.
That's true. That's why it's baseball, and like that's what Tommy said. He said, play running back, and just decided I'd rather not get hit.
Right.
That's tough. I couldn't imagine like starting a football career now and being like, yeah, I'm going to play running back.
Yeah, he just know like football ain't no savior for him. So it's just not something he has to do, man. He's a talented kid. He can do a whole lot. He's smart. So it's just not like, if he wants to do it, it's fun. Cool. We could do this thing, I'm there for motivation to push him, but he ain't got to do this, bro.
How are the workouts going? I peeped those
amazing.
on Instagram.
He does track. That's one of the things. He don't love to do it, but I make him do it because just being strong and fast and all that just, works out for any sport. So I keep him in track and training. So he enjoys that. But the last year or so since the pandemic hit, we haven't been able to play any sport, so he's excited to get back to just play anything right now. And flag's the first thing that open up.
Okay, that was such a big thing for me growing up too. I think it's I think Luke said it's like that's how I learned like how to make friends. Like you're just on a team. I think that's whether you play professionally eventually or collegiately or not. You just learn so many social skills at that age and just how to interact with people your age and deal with success, failure, all that kind of stuff through sports.
Absolutely, man. Let me do this Manscaped read. Shout out to the great folks at manscaped.com, the best of the best when it comes to men's grooming. Dan said they got us some packages on the way, man, so we're going to get some fresh edge trimmers. The Lawnmower 4.0 now. We had the 3.0, now we got the 4.0. A little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more sleek. You can still shower and do what you got to do in the shower. And Nick, I don't know if you tried the ball deodorant out or not, but you may think you don't need it. But you're going to find out when you get this package that, everybody needs ball deodorant. It's about to get hot.
Yeah, summertime's already picking up in Gainesville. It was my first Manscaped package. I do have a Delatore code. You can use that. Take 20% off. But no, have not tried any of the deodorant.
Well, you're about to see what they do, man. Be sure to visit manscaped.com. Use coupon code SG at checkout for 20% off and free shipping.
Oh dang, SG's our discount code is better than my personal one. Use SG. I don't got free shipping on mine. Don't use Delatore.
Yeah, so you gotta, shout out to the State Miguel gang. They really support this whole Manscaped thing, man. It's dope. So I think you got Song of the Week, man. First time here.
Song of the Week, first time. It so talks about you started this whole podcast network, and you talk about your people, your friends. So when your friends are doing something, support it. Your friend opens a restaurant, don't go there expecting free drinks and a free meal. Go pay full price and support your friends. So
already, the vibe.
So my guy Zach Albaverdi has been making music for a little while, and he's just coming back out now with some songs. So he's got an album. He said don't drop the album name. He's got an album coming out this week, and this is his song called Good Time off his upcoming EP.
Shout out to my man Zach. You're gonna be kicking it with us on Big 3 Roll Up this week as well, man. Same corner, same time.
First time for me, but yeah.
We'll get Dan to finish with us next time.
Dapper Dan left early.
All right. That's it. Hey, good show, man. Good first show.
Shit, I forgot to.
That was a really good show.
Yep.
I wasn't ready for Luke. I had to pee, drink like 30 ounces of coffee.
Hey, Luke turned out pretty good. That was good, man.
That was real good.
What's that, Cam?
Do we know what happened to Dan, or he just fell out?
No, he had an emergency.
He messaged in the. Yeah, he messaged he had to run.
Oh, okay.
Let me find this for you, Cam.
I gotta find out where Luke gets his like wings and cheesesteaks from. I need to help him out. He's living around this area somewhere.
How'd you know he was living around there?
I want to talk to
Dan. He works for the Washington football.
I'll be back.
He works for the Washington football team. I used to live like a half a mile from the practice facility.
Okay.
Practice facility. Their shit's all fucked up. Like the stadium is like out there somewhere in Maryland, but then the practice facility is in Ashburn, Virginia. And then they do practice like camp down in Richmond. So like their shit's all
the DMV for a reason.
All over the place. It's weird.
I've never my girlfriend. I'm sitting here in the office for 2 hours. I think she has to do school, but she's from Maryland, so she's been trying to get me to go up there. But like you're saying, like all of these like Ashburn and this and that, and I'm like,